Welcome, I am the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing the granddaddy of all henshin heroes of Toku. The one, the only, the original 1966 Ultraman. In the 1960s, Toho special effects master Eiji Tsuburaya created his own company to make television programs. This led to the creation in 1966 of a new weekly series inspired by the Twilight Zone known as Ultra Q, which featured a monster every episode. Later, production began on a successor series that would not only feature a new monster each episode, but also starred a giant superhero. Initially, the hero was planned to be a monster himself, only to evolve into a man in a costume under the name of Red Man. The concept evolved once again into a man wearing a red and silver costume, red representing the color of Mars and silver symbolizing the metal of a spaceship, who would eventually be deemed Ultraman. Ultraman would battle the vast monstrosities of nature and science with the aid of a special military force branded as the Science Patrol. Kind of. This book here says they're actually called the Scientific Investigation Agency, but the DVD is called the Science Patrol, and those are what I'm going to follow for this review. This is Kira calling. I want my roller back. Ultraman was a ratings success, to the point that it not only spawned an entire franchise that has continued to this very day, but even a genre as both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai owe their legacy to Ultraman. Just think, without Ultraman, none of this would exist today. So what is it about this show that made it so good? Well, let's take a look to find out. The heroes. So the heroes of Ultraman are, of course, Ultraman himself and the Science Patrol with their really ugly orange uniforms that they seem to be able to wear underneath a suit jacket. Those are also pretty ugly, and they wear them all the time. Even when they're on vacation, they're wearing them. It's like, did they not have the budget to give them additional clothes, or are they only allowed to wear what the Science Patrol gives them? Ugh. Let's get on to the characters themselves. While Ultraman may be the title character, it is really the members of the Science Patrol that lead this show. Thus, it is only fair to start with them. Our team is made up of 6 core members, each with their own skills and personalities. They are a lively bunch, although they tend to be pretty invincible as their character shields are always on regardless of the situation. Some of the members will get knocked down a rocky hill or cliff with their bodies flopping around in a manner of bone-breaking crashes, only to have them walk it off as if they tripped over a branch. You can keep your suspension of disbelief willing for only so much. Yeah. So who are the members of the Science Patrol? To start, we have their leader, Captain Toshio Muramatsu. He is the stoic commander who leads his team to the best of his own ability. Those familiar with the original Kamen Rider series might recognize Muramatsu's actor, Keiji Kobayashi, as the very first Tachibana Tobei. Muramatsu is a strong and competent leader who will put the needs of others over himself in a similar fashion to Optimus Prime in the original Transformers series. Next up is the Patrol's genius inventor who also acts as comic relief, Mitsuhiro Ide, played by Masanari Nihei. Ide is my favorite character of this group as his comedy is usually spot on. これのことでしたね。実はあれからここへ帰ってきてベッドへ潜り込んだんですけどね。Although, the guy can kind of come off as being a dick at times without realizing it. あの二人、うちでいてくれるといいが、女と子供だからな。女と子供だからな。Oh, snap. My only complaint towards him, however, is that he always seems to already have a gadget made to deal with the situation before it is even on the table. It's cool that he is a genius, it's just that this can often make the plot seem like they are just going through the motions. 我々科学特捜隊もウルトラマンさえいれば必要ないような気がするんだ。It's true! Sandayo Doku Mamushi's Daisuke Arashi acts as the team's weapons expert. He is the man that tends to use the big guns that Ide invents. From there, we have a Keiko Fuji. Her specialty is, being there to answer the phones when necessary. Yeah, to be honest, actress Hiroko Sakurai does her best to portray Fuji, who is pretty much a one-dimensional, shallow character. There's one episode where a monster is devouring pearls, and the only thing she cares about is how it harms the wants of a woman. もったいない。人間から真珠の光を取らないで。どこなんかにはわからないわこの気持ち。 In another episode, she gets injured and is in the hospital. The gang goes to visit her, and then she gets mad when they're not paying attention to her immediately. There is also a boy named Hoshino who becomes a member in the middle of the series and then kind of just disappears in the final quarter. While it was not a total loss to lose a child character, it seems odd as to how prominent he is in the first half of the show to be pretty much gone in the second half. Perhaps he was disliked by the viewers that much, but he didn't even show up in the final episode.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
He is portrayed by Akihide Tsuzawa. Last but not least is our lead character, played by Susumu Kurobe, Shin Hayata. Hayata was on a mission in the first episode when he is accidentally killed by a giant blue ball that a space cop from the galaxy Nebula N78 called Ultraman was traveling in.
I'm so sorry!
As such, Ultraman merges his life with Hayata's and the two essentially become one and the same. Technically, Hayata does not transform into Ultraman, they kind of just switch places. Think of it as like in DC when you have Billy Batson transforming into Captain Marvel. Shazam! And that is why it does not make any frickin' sense on why he's called Shazam! That is the name of the word that transforms him! It doesn't make... Oh, okay. My mistake. Hold on. I'm in the wrong series. That's for something else. Let's stick with Ultraman. Okay. Ultraman it is. Ultraman himself is kind of overpowered though, as the monsters he fights never really stand a chance. It also doesn't help that outside of a handful of instances, Ultraman shows up at the end of each episode, so there isn't time for him to lose a battle. Sometimes I also have to wonder if Ultraman is trying to fight a monster or rape him. Just look at this.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
Another minor gripe I do have is that Ultraman is able to just pull like any power he wants out of his ass. He's always had the Specium Ray that he uses to finish off a monster. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with new abilities. It's just when you have things just randomly show up like this thing. I'm Dr. Orpheus! Where was that the entire series? Tsuburaya decided to give him a 3-minute time limit before reverting back to Hayata as a means to contest him from being overpowered.
Ultraman を支える太陽エネルギーは地球上では急激に消耗する。太陽エネルギーが残り少なくなるとカラータイマーが点滅を始める。そしてもしカラータイマーが消えてしまったらウルトラマンは二度と再び立ち上がる力を失ってしまうのである。
Honestly though, it's meaningless as the 3 minutes can last however long the plot requires. Put him in the Dragon Ball universe and he can fight for 20 episodes before his time runs out. On a positive note, I love how his costume improved as the series progressed. His head started out a tad rigid and uneven, but eventually evolved into being more symmetrical and smooth. This transition does show that everyone was trying to improve on their quality and technique as production continued. In the long run, there is a reason why Ultraman's look is pretty iconic outside of being the original. Sadly, my description of these characters may be brief and unfulfilling, but that is all I have to truly work with here. The show doesn't really have much in the way of character development, so the characters are all the same in episode 39 as they are in episode 1. If you are used to the more story-driven shows of today, this may throw you off. However, if you grew up on a lot of cartoons from the 80s and 90s, such as Thundercats, Transformers, Batman the Animated Series, you should be okay as each episode does stand up on its own. The advantage is that you can jump into almost any episode and enjoy it without having seen the episodes before or after it to understand the series. On the negative side, if you prefer story-driven series, you will probably find yourself bored. It also doesn't help matters that some characters will disobey orders, be reprimanded for it, and then everything is fixed by the end of the episode, only to have the same thing occur 2 episodes later. I'm looking at you, Arashi. Episode 36 features him disobeying orders to not shoot at a monster, and then he is suspended from duty for all of 4 minutes. He repeats the same thing in episode 38, but this time with no repercussions for it.
こいつもやっつけちゃいましょうか。よせ。怪獣を相手にしてる時間などない。これでもくらえ。
It doesn't help that both of these episodes feature a monster that blinds Arashi with a night bright. Finally, the show utilizes the actor pool that Toho used, so you will see a lot of actors from the Godzilla movies, especially Akihiko Hirata, who plays a scientist in the show named Dr. Iwamoto. Monsters and Aliens. If you like seeing tons of aliens and monsters, this is the show for you. There's really not much else, honestly. That doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing, as the monster designs are all outstanding. Mostly outstanding. Usually really good, but there's only a few standouts. We do get a good variety of monsters with the likes of Bemlar, Gamma Kajira, not Baragon, not Godzilla, also not Baragon, and okay, maybe there's not a lot of variety with the monsters themselves. In all seriousness, some of the highlights include Gamora, Dodongo, Wu, and Antlar. My favorite among the kaiju is Pestar. Pestar looks like a giant bat with the head in the middle of very large wings. Clearly, the wings are worn by two highly uncoordinated individuals. Regardless, the design of the creature makes him the most original among his brethren. Oh, and of course Jiras gets a like for being reused Godzilla parts. Ultraman wins. Trolling. Oh man, I am so sorry. I forgot about you. Doesn't this guy actually look kind of similar to Monster X in Final Wars? I wonder if that's what Toho derived their design off of. That's actually kind of cool when you think about it, but at least Monster X wasn't as whiny. If you don't know this episode, the monster ends up coming down to Earth and wants to go back up to space, and that's what he's doing for the entire time. A few of the monsters from Ultra Q also make an appearance, such as the original Pokemon Pigmon and Ragon, which is pretty cool. Although, if you are like me and haven't seen Ultra Q, then you are going to miss out on the context of this. Fortunately, the show also features several sentient aliens that come to Earth for one reason or another. We get some great variety there with the likes of Dada.
Hey my youth, some boy them dip on the corner and thing and the boy them sell some things and thing and want my money and thing, you know. I no sweat I go you know, I want to deal with the case proper.
The Zeton. And Zorab. I now understand why the Baltans are a fan favorite despite only appearing twice, as they did leave quite an impact in their first appearance alone. Nevertheless, my favorite of the aliens is by far Melphilas. Melphilas comes to Earth and offers Fuji's younger brother a world of his own in exchange for Earth, and he is the only alien in the show to get away. If that doesn't make him an instant favorite, nothing will. The effects and music. Ultraman's effects look a lot better than they should for its time. It is amazing at how much detail went into the miniatures. In fact, a vast majority of the show's miniature work was based on actual Japanese sites and buildings. The Tokyo Stadium that two monsters tumble into while battling was designed off the actual stadium. Even the mountainous and rural regions that the show will often take place in don't all look the same, adding even more realism into the mix. Just like his work on Toho's films, Tsuburaya went above and beyond the Call of Duty when it came to his effects work, even if it doesn't always pan out. Sometimes the monster suits can look way too rubbery and fake, or wires can easily be seen. Regardless, the efforts made by the staff is appreciated and noticeable. The show's score was done by Kunio Miyachi, and is pretty standard fare as far as music from the Showa period goes. It's fun and energetic with its jazzy influences and is used intelligently as to what is happening on screen. The only downside is that you probably won't remember the themes after a couple days of finishing the show. The opening song is serviceable at best. It's nothing horrendous, but it's not even remotely good. The episodes. Now this is where things can get kind of dicey, because as I already said, the episodes are pretty standalone. They're like mini movies. You can watch one without knowing anything else and enjoy it, which is good, but also bad, because it's pretty much just a set formula. A mystery occurs, sometimes a monster might attack, or whatever. Science Patrol investigates, they discover the problem, they try to fix it, Ultraman appears to finish the job. Rinse and repeat over and over and over. Also, the final episode just does not feel like a final episode. It's barely climactic. It could have been episode 18, really. Continuity does exist, it's just very minimal. There are a lot of truly enjoyable episodes, more so than I had anticipated. The second episode, for example, which features the first appearance of the Baltan, has a very chilling vibe to it. There is a lot of serious drama going on here. Of course, just because there is a lot of drama doesn't mean it can't have well-written moments of comedy like this.
本部からうるさいお姉ちゃんがワイワイ言ってくるし、30病気に呼び出されたんじゃ報告することなんてありゃしないよ。得意じゃないんだから。ただいま早田隊員到着。防衛軍に続いて建物へ向かっています。玄関まであと20メートル、19メートル、18メートル。了解了解。報告は簡単明瞭に。競馬の中継じゃないんだから。
I hate you.
The show also provides us with material that makes it way too easy to rift. Like this.
私、イエスタディの師匠をしております。
Well, where's today's secretary?
大変だ！ラクダが暴れ出したぞ！
What? The camel's going crazy? I've got the perfect man to help you. And the Darwin Award goes to... "50 Shades of Ultraman." Oh yeah, and this monster likes chocolate.
そういうわけじゃ。君たちがチョコレートを食べられるのもゲスラのおかげなのさ。
This is my chocolate. This is mine. Think you're gonna get my chocolate? What's wrong with you, monster? Fun times, and there's so much more you can do when you watch this show. Ultraman only features one two-parter, which just feels so strange to me. It also features an ancient monster deemed Gomora, who rampages through Japan all thanks to a scientist who brought him there. Think the T-Rex from the movie version of The Lost World, just on a much grander scale. The oddity about this episode, though, is it features a kid who calls himself the Kaiju Prince. However, the kids at his school make fun of him because... Kaiju 殿下だって
怪獣は本当にいるんだぞ。人がせっかく教えてやってんのに。
You live in a world that is constantly attacked by monsters and aliens, and a hero named Ultraman is constantly saving you. How is this even questionable? The most hilarious episode of the show deals with a monster called Skydon and features the greatest Ultraman battle ever. I love how the music just fizzes out. It has the Science Patrol coming up with new plots to defeat their hefty foe throughout the episode's runtime. It all ends with a spoon.
There is no
Shut up! And an inappropriate mission statement. Despite the comedy, even this episode manages to put in a moment of seriousness. With that said, my favorite episodes are a toss-up between the 7th episode of the series, which features the crew getting stranded in the desert, and the previously mentioned episode featuring Malphilus. I really love it when the show takes the cast out of Japan and puts them somewhere else, which is what the Bluestone of Baraji does. Not to mention having the episode change the setting to the Middle East, despite painting the Japanese people to look Arabic. Yes, I know. Go away, internet meme 666. Those guys are everywhere. They make it so hard to do a review. It's a thrilling episode and the Antler monster is pretty badass. Not to mention it adds onto the mythology that there is more than one Ultraman.
ノアの神です。5000年の昔、ウルトラマンの先祖は地球上に現れ、その時もやはり人類の平和のために戦っていたのか。
Likewise, the Forbidden World is really interesting because of Mayphilus trying to trade another world for the Earth to Fuji's brother. A lot goes on with this episode, from flying boats, cars in space, and to an unexpected battle with Ultraman. However, it isn't without the biggest WTF moments as this occurs. That's kind of messed up and way out of character for these guys. I'll say of this moment, this episode is really fun and entertaining to watch. Of course, just because you have so many great episodes doesn't mean there aren't stinkers involved. My least favorite episode is Pearl Oyster Defense Order. Ugh. This is the episode I mentioned that had Fuji upset from the monster that eats pearls. The monster itself, Gamakujira, looks terrible as the effects in this episode are kind of bad. Add on top that Gamakujira's growl gets annoying after just a few minutes of hearing it repeat over and over again throughout the entire episode until you want to rip your eardrums out, and you have a repulsive, dumb episode to boot. The sad part is that this episode showcases how lackluster a character Fuji is when her biggest worry in the entire world is how women are going to be able to showcase their beauty without pearls. First world problems, yo. The DVD. This series was originally released on DVD by BCI in the form of 6 discs with 3 discs per volume, so 2 volumes. They went out of business, so Mill Creek decided to buy the DVD rights and release it themselves. What they did though is they crammed 9 to 10 episodes on a disc and released it on 4 discs in one set. But they didn't do any disc trays, they just pretty much did paper discs. Woo, yay, this sucks. Also, I mean it's $8, so it depends if you think it's worth it, but hear me out. Mill Creek's DVD is atrocious. The video ranges in quality, so sometimes it can look decent, while a lot of other times it can come out really poor looking due to old masters. The worst part of it comes down to the subtitles. Translations are bad at times, which is okay compared to the most frustrating issue, timing. Episodes 22 and 24 feature subs that appear on screen either 5 to 10 seconds before the lines are spoken, or about 2 to 3 lines too late.
特別の任務だ。選ばれた者の栄光もある。君は国際宇宙開発軍のロケット操縦の技術指導としてしばらくパリへ行ってくれ。藤君、身長の上にも慎重に頼むよ。
キャップ、
隊員を信頼していただきたいものですわ。
It makes it so hard to watch. It may have only cost me $8, but I would not recommend this DVD to you unless you absolutely must own it. Go out and hunt down BCI's DVDs. If you are unsure whether or not this show is for you, you can watch the episodes on Shout Factory's website, and hopefully the subs aren't as mistimed there as they are here. Overall, Ultraman was an entertaining, enjoyable experience that I was not expecting. It may not be story-driven or have elegant characters, but it is kind of hard to fault the show when there was nothing like this prior. Thus, I am giving Ultraman 4 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. Well, I guess in the case of Ultraman, it would be rubber, but my point still stands. If you are a fan of Godzilla or Sentai Kamen Rider, you should definitely check this out. If you're an Ultraman fan that has never seen this original series, what are you waiting for? Check it out right now. Until next time, bye.
You've caused more damage than that goddamn thing did!